What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest. No, I don't like that at all.
Well, hello, rock fans. That's fans of rock and not fans... Well, you know what I mean. It's the three amigos, Dexter, Chico and me. We could be ZZ Top, couldn't we? Or Promote the Head, maybe. Who said the Three Stooges at the back? Anyway, we are back with another of our music-based videos that, judging by the views, you all love so much. Anyway, a few weeks back, we put out a video featuring two really debut heavy rock albums from 1970 or thereabouts. And in this video, we've wound the clock on 10 years and repeated the process. So it's three, well, two really, again, debut heavy metal or heavy rock albums from 1980 and 81. I thought it would be an interesting year to choose, as I turned 16 in 1980 and was really getting into my music in a serious way. I'd found the niche or genre that I liked the most. I still like music of all styles, and that time I was really into my classical music too. I'd still dabbled in that from time to time as well, but it was that classic heavy rock that you really yanked at my heartstrings. And the three albums I've chosen from this year have gone on to become utter classics. They have all rightly been heralded as important and seriously influential records, and I bought them all as soon as they were released. And I was a couple of years too young to have really got into punk at its inception, but in this newest wave of British heavy metal, there was something that I could feel a real part of, and I wasn't alone. It must have been around 1979 when I discovered TV on the radio. That was the Friday rock show with the legendary DJ Tommy Vance at the helm. It was unmissable late night adventure, really, 10 p.m. until midnight, and the start of the weekend. BBC Radio 1 was our church, and Tommy was our preacher, and it was the place us rock fans could get our fix of classic rock and hear the exciting new stuff that was coming through as well. Then he was off to the town on the bus the next day to scour the record shops in the hope of finding, that new band or record. Now, we had 4 record stores in my home city at that time. You had HMV, Our Price, Virgin, and the one we all gravitated towards, the independent Derek's Records. It's still there now on Swansea's Oxford Street to this day, and the owner doesn't seem to have aged or changed at all. Saturday afternoon saw a sea of denim with sewn-on patches milling around outside, the smell of cider and patchouli oil providing a heady mix to the atmosphere. But I had something a bit more special to wear. My sister had embroidered the figure from Rush's Hemispheres inside a pentangle on the back of my denim jacket, and every week someone would offer me a small fortune to buy it from me. I never sold it, but have zero idea, sadly, where it is today. Enough of all this nostalgia, though, Nicholas. What are these 3 records, then, I hear you all ask? Well, without any more of this prattling on, let's find out, shall we? Now, if you like last time, pause the video right here and make your guesses. Right, are we all done? Well, record number 1, I'll just grab it. Oh, God, I should have put them closer. Oh, dear. Is the eponymous debut release, there it is, from Iron Maiden. Now, 1979 saw the birth of that a new wave of British heavy metal, an explosion of guitars and drums using the ethos, energy and example of punk, I think, as the blueprint for making a load of noise. And one of the founding members of that movement were Iron Maiden, and by 1980 they had settled on the lineup responsible for recording their debut album. You had bassist and founder Steve Harris, guitarist Dave Murray and Dennis Stratton, singer Paul Di'Anno and Clive Burr driving the band along on drums. From the opening track, Prowler, right through to the close of side 2 with the classic that is Iron Maiden, the album fairly races along with galloping drums and bass lines and twin guitars that form the blueprint for Maiden's sound, and Paul's rough and ready punk-like vocals which provided the perfect foil to the slick musicianship with almost prog-like virtuosity from each member without. Running Free provided the band's first single, which when they appeared on Top of the Pops was famously played live instead of miming to the record, which was the norm for the show at that time.
Just 16, think I'm drunk, out of money, out of luck. I got nowhere, got my own, hit the gas and here I go. I'm running free, yeah, I'm running free.
I felt like Maiden was singing directly to my generation, and with lines like, just 16, a pickup truck, out of money, out of luck. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. I was fortunate enough to see them when they toured this album and spent a memorable summer Sunday afternoon, fresh from finishing my O-level exams, drinking cider and eating chips before seeing Maiden in my hometown. And the next morning we met the whole band in the local HMV store. They were just down-to-earth guys, really, and remembered us from the night before as we got up onto the stage during the encore, jumping back off to avoid the clutches of their security. I don't know, perhaps we invented stage diving that night, who knows. The album cover, designed by Derek Riggs, as they all are, is in itself iconic, featuring Eddie, the character who would grace every album and single cover the band released, as well as appearing on stage regularly to this day. Right, the second album on this list, which I'm going to grab now, isn't a debut. But it's the band's first commercially successful recording and their second release overall, and it is, of course, I keep banging this microphone, Denim and Leather by Saxon. Now, where I and Maiden burst onto the scene with an infusion of prog, punk and metal, Saxon's second album is a far more standard, guitar-tastic heavy metal affair. Again, though, it features a twin guitar attack. It's a bit more in your face, really. Bill Byford's lyrics make every song into a story, with tales of steam locomotives, the odd street fight, aeroplanes, and even a tribute to the Monsters of Rock festival in the form of the hit single "And the Band's Played On." Something that continued in future releases. Saxon and Biff always liked telling a story. It's the title track and another single release, though, that really hits the spot for me, telling of the embryonic beginnings of, the new wave of British heavy metal, asking us where we were in 79 when the dam began to break. It evokes real memories of the genre of music that really belonged to my generation. Superb stuff. Now, I somehow didn't get to see Saxon live, though, until November 2022, and they put on one hell of a show. Loud and heavy, as you'd expect, with every song performed to the max. And during Denim and Leather, Biff signed a denim jacket thrown onto the stage before carefully returning it to its owner. You can check out some of the highlights from that evening by clicking on the link above, if you like. In further releases, Saxon pretty well stuck to this formula, and why not? After all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My third choice, I'll say that again. My third choice is an album that's gone on to become an icon and rightly heralded as one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time, debut or otherwise, and it is Aussie Osborne's Blizzard of Oz. Now, Ozzy had recently quit Black Sabbath and teamed up with Quiet Riot guitarist Randy Rhoads, Uriah Heep drummer Lee Kerslake, and Heep member to be Bob Daisley on bass to record his debut album Away from Sabbath. A controversial aside here, after its release and due to some legal shenanigans, I think the drum and bass parts were re-recorded and the album reissued. Now, these wranglings were resolved, thankfully, eventually, and the two Heapsters now get just credit for their parts in heavy rock / metal recording history. And what a piece of history it is, possibly one of the finest heavy metal albums ever to grace a turntable, from first play to last. It's an album full of quality songwriting and musicianship. For all the heavy guitars, though, the record does have its softer moments, and there's not a Sabbath track in sight, not even Paranoid, which would have been easy for Ozzy to have covered and included. And that Randy Rhoads failed to reach his full potential with Ozzy is a tragedy, though, as his guitar playing style and technical chops were quite remarkable. He was a true genius. He only got to record one more album with Ozzy, though. That was 1981's Diary of a Madman. Now, I got to see Ozzy twice. Once with Randy Rhoads at 1981's Heavy Metal Holocaust, and then in 1988 at Bristol's Top Rank, by then called, I think it was the Studio Ballroom. Two more contrasting venues you'd be hard-pressed to find. Oh, for the days, really, before Ozzy became some sort of reality TV circus act. I don't know what went wrong. So there we have it, or them. My choice of 3 absolute classic heavy metal debut albums from the very start of the new wave of British heavy metal in 1980. What genre of music do you feel you belong to, or, belongs to you? Let us all know in the comments section below. Right, I'm off to dust down my denim waistcoat, studded belt and biker's cap, sew a beer mat into my jeans and headbang the night away. Well, it's either that or a cup of Ovaltine on an early night. All right, be nice, and we'll see you on Saturday. Ta-ra.
I'm running free, yeah. I'm running free. I spend the night in LA jail. Listen to